Ever wonder what sets the winners apart from the losers? And what does it really mean to be a winner? My name is Federico, and I'm a young, successful entrepreneur passionate about sports, business, mindset, and real estate. If you are just like me and you want to crack the code to victory, then Winning Ways podcast is made for you. All right, welcome to Winning Ways by Fred. My name is Federico, and this is episode 2. Today, I have a very special guest on my show, a mentor, a coach of mine, a great friend of mine, Linney. Welcome.
I appreciate it, man. I don't know if it's just my sunny disposition, but I think I've been the first guest on like 7 podcasts. So, normally I'd like to break them in, broke in the host, but, so excited for you to start this process. So excited for you to share the knowledge that you've gained in your business and continue to gain, and just super pumped to be here.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah. You've definitely, for those that don't know, Austin is one of my coaches. He's definitely pushed me to get this pod going. One of the reasons why we're here. And so it's an honor to have you here. So let's get this going. Wanted to start off by asking you what got you into the business of coaching and why you got into it.
It's interesting. I think I was always a coach. I just didn't know it. Like you're that guy at work where everybody like comes to you with their problems, like, oh, my boyfriend's, doing this or something. And you're helping, I think what's odd is when you're a kid, right? When you're 16 and 15 and you're giving adults advice, something is there, for me, there was a place in my life where I was going to do it later in life. Once I was, had built some businesses and built more businesses and done. And I was working private equity when the pandemic happened, and had a good friend say that he needed some accountability, was going to hire me. And I was like, no, you're not. Like, I'm not doing that. Like, you're a friend. I don't want to do that. And he like sent me the money without me asking and was like, no, figure it out. And so then boom, like the business was started. I was already doing it beforehand, but like really not a business or anything. And slowly over time, I've built that up to something that I truly enjoy, which is understanding that each person has a unique reason why they're in business or why they are who they are. And I think my biggest issue with coaching on its core is that most coaches don't take the time to find out why that is. And ultimately understanding that 9 times out of 10, we could have a very successful business and we could have the house, have the car, but still be empty inside. And, that's what I find out with a lot of my coaches, clients, is they're not successful. They're not driven. They're just maybe climbing a mountain that's not for them. And so having the wherewithal to be able to help somebody in that realm is very powerful. I always remember, I remember like it was yesterday, my first coaching call. I swear to God, first coaching call was in the desert driving from San Diego to Arizona. I was helping a friend for free, and he had owned like 3 businesses. And we were in the call for like 2 minutes, and he's like, "Hey, I want to leave my wife." And I was like, "Holy shit!" Oh my God. And like I was like hyperventilating. I was like, okay, come down. And like, so like I worked through it, but in my mind, the whole time I'm thinking is like, oh, this is not a joke. Like, this is not something you take lightly. These are people's, he has 2 kids. These are not people's lives. Sure. And so I let him bitch for like 45 minutes, like literally let him like go to town, like say just everything that he wanted to get out of his mouth. Yeah. And then I said, now what part have you played in this? And he like sit back and he was like, oh, you asshole. And he was like, because if I would have said that in the beginning of the call, he would have just said, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. But because I let him get it all out and then hit him with that, and guess what? They're still together to this day. Their relationship is the best it's ever been, right? But it was in that moment And I think this is what really gets me fired up and upset about the coaching business is that these are people's lives, these are families, these are kids. And so when I tell my clients, I'm not coaching just you, I'm coaching your family, I'm coaching your kids, your future kids. That's how important this is for somebody to trust you with their innermost fears, needs, business, all of these things. Right. And I wish more people would take it more seriously, but I also know that the ones that do, have clients forever.
For sure. For sure. I mean, a personal example with you and I is I feel like as a coach, one of their jobs is to expand their vision a little bit and push them out of their comfort zone, which you've definitely done quite a bit. So with that said, what would you say would be like the primary qualities a good coach needs to have?
The good coach needs to ask the right questions that aren't obvious, right? And what I mean by that is like, obviously you want to be successful. I mean, obviously you want money, obviously you want all those things, but why? And then if you are successful and you are getting it done, is the fuel that's in your tank sustainable for your lifetime? Like, are you doing it out of spite? Are you doing it out of, why? Are you doing it because you're trying to make your dad upset, or like you're trying to prove it to your dad? Like, if you don't truly drill down to those, perfect example. We coach 3 companies, entire companies with my consulting firm, and there's 18 employees, right? And these are 18 different personalities, 18 different skill sets, 18 different everything. But what we did is we asked the right questions, 10 of them, to find out their true need. Then we take those needs and we draw a direct line through those things and find a motivation that'll motivate the entire company. A lot of people don't do that, right? A lot of people do what I call wood chipper coaching, right? And if you've ever seen those, when they're in the neighborhood and they're cut down the trees, they take the tree off and they shove it in the thing, right? Here's my coaching business. And, you're in real estate, you're in health insurance, you're in crypto. We're just going to coach you like you're the same person and we're going to call it a day. And I'm sorry, Charlie, that doesn't work. Like, perfect example, my fiance, and I don't do it on purpose and intentionally, but she can literally tell, not looking at the screen, when I'm coaching a woman. She's like, oh, you're coaching a woman. Your voice is softer. It's a little more, clearer. You're quieter. Not that they can't, dude, I'll just, we'll yell, we'll get all excited at the same time.
Sure.
But just understanding, look, there's certain days that my clients need me to be Andy Frisella. There's certain days they need me to be, a quiet coach. And there's certain days they just need their ass handed to them. It's really simple. And understanding those different speeds as a coach, but ultimately understanding that the sanctity of the relationship, right? And respecting the exchange value of money / time, but ultimately understanding that this is I have a client out of Japan in the crypto. He's one of the craziest dudes I've ever met in my life. Yeah, he's in Japan. Nice. And he's one of the craziest dudes I've ever met in my life. He's a writer. He's wild, dude. Really wild, man. Yeah. And he's like, look, dude, he's like, I don't need you. This is just him, right? He's like, I don't need you for the calls. He's like, I hate structure. He's like, but when I call you and I need 5 minutes and I'm about to blow up my entire world, that's when I need you. Yeah. And it's like, I have certain clients that just show up for the call. And then I have some that text me every day. And then I have some that'll call me on a Thursday. And you're like, oh, I need to take that. Because if this is not the normal time, something is happening. And perfect example, last week, my client's like, I'm going to fire everybody in my company. He's like, I'm not having fun anymore. I'm letting everybody go. I want to go back to doing it myself. I want to shift my focus. And he needed to talk. And like, I knew this was coming for a month, but he wasn't ready to admit it. And it's really hard because he's walking away from $250,000 a month, but he's just not having fun in his business anymore. Yeah. And having somebody to talk to be able to walk through that huge shift is really what a coach is about.
Wow. Yeah, I've definitely come to terms with that. I've noticed, I mean, through your stories, I know you have different types of clients, but you definitely have to read the situation and know your client really well to determine how you deal with them on a day-to-day basis, or when you guys do your calls, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, sometimes you touch a nerve and they're just not in the right place to deal with it. You have to back off.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And now so you got into coaching, you're a great coach, you do all of this.